Do you know what is atomic design? Well, it's a way to give more order on your design and have a system to design your website. And on this video, we will talk about atomic design, but more specifically, how to implement atomic design on Bricks Builder in a few moments. But first, remember, if you want to contact with me, you can do it on outwp.com and contact with me and my team to start collaborating. If you are a freelance, if you are a marketing agency and need an extra hand on development on Bricks Builder site, you can contact with me and start collaborating together. So let's start with the video about talking about atomic design. So I did this post talking about, if you want to read later of this video, talking about atomic design. And let's start to explain what is this concept proposal from Brad Frost. Also, if you want to check all the posts of that on his page, you will have also the page linked here with the source. Okay. Well, what is atomic design? Atomic design is a methodology of design from Brad Frost that explain how him implement this design system based on the chemistry. Okay. And have 5 levels of design. Okay. The first one is atoms. The second one is molecules. The third one is organism. The fourth is template. It's not related with chemistry. And the fifth one is species. Okay. You can read more here on his page. Link it on the blog page. So, what is the first one level? Atoms. Atoms refer from the chemistry, okay? And is the part more little on your design, and this one cannot be break, okay? For example, you see on the post, it's an input, it's a button symbol, a heading, a links, or image, or this stuff, okay? It's the more little block of matters, okay? Okay, for example, let's go to bricks and let's start to build an atom. For example, an atom could be a text link, for example, okay? Could be a heading. So this is an atom, okay? Or an input of a form or an image. These things, this stuff are atoms, okay? And can have variables, but it's the more little part of our design, okay? So the next level is molecules. Molecules are atoms together. For example, some links together could be a nav primary, okay? This image from here is text links together, and these atoms with each others compose a molecules called nav primary, for example. Okay. Another example that Brad Frost give is search forms molecule. It's composed by label atom, by input, and with a button, okay? Like search form. Okay. The next level is organism. And this is a piece more complex than the molecules, okay? And the atoms. And this piece have together molecules and atoms could be have in the same component. Okay, for example, a header. You will see that this logo is atom. This primary navigation is a molecule, and this button could be a molecule or could be in this design it's a atom. Okay. I say could be because maybe if you have a button and an icon with arrow, for example, this is molecule, okay? Okay, good. Later in atomic design, you have the template, and this stuff is more for designers that are working on Figma files or on Photoshop. I don't know, but this means that you will do a wireframe before have a final design. Okay, for example, this, and the pages, the next level, it's the final design with the colors, with pretty design, okay, with borders and this stuff. But first you need to go with this to this step. Okay, it's like have a wireframe and later a design. Okay, but for us the interesting part is the organism, molecules, and atoms. Okay, this is my approach to implement atomic design on bricks. What could be atoms in bricks? Okay, I showed you before, and the atoms will be the headings, text links, buttons, these elements separately. This from here could be an element. Okay, and I think that all the things that you can set and are elements separately, and you can set on global styles, for example, the colors, the buttons, the input, the text links. This will be an atoms, and it's a good thing to think to start styling at first. For example, these basics elements from here, all of these could be an atom. Okay. Later, we have the molecules and how to implement molecules on bricks builder. Okay. For molecules, I want to think this that could be applied on component elements, this new feature from bricks. Okay. And I use and recommend use this for example, both buttons complex. For example, if you have a button with icon and you want to have two versions with icon and no icon, you can use this feature of component to add icon when you want to add it, and this will be a component. Okay, so why this is an molecules? This is a molecule because have more than one atom. Okay, have the button wrapper, the link wrapper, and have the text and have the icon. Okay, for this reason it's a molecule. Okay, and also later you can play with different classes here from the component to do the button shorter or longer. So you can add in these dynamic classes when you want, or dark button, etc. And you can register these components from here and have a primary. You can do your button secondary or tertiary or dark and this stuff. Okay, so the other thing that could be a component, it's the cards. The cards, for example, the team member cards, the feature cards, the services card. It's a good thing to have in a component, and it's a thing that I start to implement in my development from the launch of the component. And this it's a good thing to have in a car because you can manage directly from the builder this thing, and it's more complex than an atom. You have this atom, this heading that could be atom, and this button primary. So it's a good thing to have a component. And later, if you want to add more components with the car, you can. Now it's not setting with the properties to manage like the button. Okay, but if we setting that, we can add different cars, and for example this grid, I'm gonna add a grid 3, and we can add easily this and edit the name and this stuff if we link the properties. Okay, so service car, feature cars, etc. And another thing that could be a component is something that are in a loop, inside a loop, okay? Have a component, it's a good practice, okay? Also, the components in bricks, it's good because now bricks allow have components inside the components. I think that before this version 2.0, they doesn't allow. I don't remember exactly, but I have the remind on my head that they doesn't allow put a component inside the component, but now yes. The last thing is the organism. The organism on bricks, I think that it's a good scenario to use templates from bricks. Okay, the templates are, if you are a user from bricks, these ones are the templates. Okay, and it's ideally for headers, for footers, for search results, or for pages, CTS sections that you want to insert on your page. For example, from here, you can add the template. Okay, CTS section, with a wrapper, and you have and can manage from another site. When we can use this template, I think that this template, it's good to use to manage more complex structure than the components. Okay, for example, if we have a mega menu with a lot of links, could be a good idea have a header with the mega menu, and inside this header have a template with the list of the links directly on the template, because the builder starts to be slower when you have a lot of elements in the builder. So it's a good practice have separately these things to manage in one page directly. Okay. Also, if you want a point by condition, for example, a header and point to a different page, it's good to have a template instead have a header on component. And if you have two headers, for example, header 1 and header 2, and you want you want to implement a new header after launch and develop your site, and want to implement a new header, this header 2 you can aim from templates to a specific page, and instead if you work with component, you should delete each component from each page that you don't want to apply. So if you want to manage from one side, the template, it's a good thing to have directly on the template. Okay. And also, for example, if you want to implement a banner promo like I did before here, and do you want to have this thing separately to manage for any reason, it's a good thing. And or if you want, or if the component instant on bricks doesn't work good for you because it's a good tool, but it's a new tool and maybe doesn't have all the potential that have managed directly with the builder here on template, you can manage directly with all potential that the builder has now, because sometimes on components doesn't have all the options. Maybe with the future have more options, but for now it's a little limited. So obviously, if you want to use component and template, it's for element that will repeat. If it's one element on the page, and no make sense have these things, this template or this component, because you will not reuse. It's for things that you want to reuse. Okay. So this is the thing that I want to show you. Let me know what do you think about that. I don't know if you know atomic design, but it's a good thing to have in mind. Maybe you know it. This is the way that I implement on the page that I do. Okay, comment below what do you think about that, about atomic design, and see you on next video. And bye bye. Thank you for watching.